Gotta be careful not to bring their heads out of the water.
If you want to make the most of one of the best fishing experiences the world has to offer, look no further than halibut fishing in Ketchikan. While halibut are plentiful throughout Alaska, they can be a difficult fish to snag, but these 10 tips for great halibut fishing in Ketchikan will land you that perfect catch.
Jason, I got it right there.
Alaska halibut fishing trips are one of the most sought-after trips for anglers during halibut season. Halibut comes in a variety of sizes, some so big that you'll need help to get it on board. Alaska halibut fishing requires some individual knowledge outside of regular Alaska fishing knowledge. Helps the boat stay around a promising halibut hole, and with chum, helps create a strong scent trail to attract the fish in your direction. Halibut use scent, sight, and sound to navigate towards food, but they primarily focus on scents, so it's important not to underestimate the power of chum in halibut fishing.
Yeah, that ain't what she's talking about. She's talking about the can in her.
Tie a mesh chum bag to the anchor using leftover bait or salmon remnants from cleaning. The fresher and bloodier the better. Since halibut are predators, frozen bait may not be as effective. For added effect, you can increase the scent by marinating your chum bags in a mix of Pautska green nectar and liquid krill before you head to the fishing grounds.
Like I said, I just had to get her out of the way. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate it.
Let's take a look at what this information is below so that you can set yourself up for bagging the biggest halibut you can find. The first thing you need to know about planning Alaska halibut fishing trips is that the best halibut season time is mid-May to mid-September. During the day, the best time to fish is during the high slack tide as it will keep your tackle as close to the bottom as possible. Alaska halibut fishing trips taken within the season mentioned above will likely not turn up many chalky halibut. If you take Alaska halibut fishing trips in the halibut season off-season peaks, you increase your chance of catching chalky halibut. love herring, and it's one of the most popular baits. Some use the whole herring, while others use steaks. However, not many know that fillets release much more scent into the water than whole herring or even steaks, and will produce more aggressive bites. Use a whole side fillet from the biggest herring available, and replace them every 20 minutes or so, always keeping at least one in the water at all times during bait changes to maximize the scent trail. Salmon has long since been used as bait in Sitka but is still underappreciated for halibut fishing in Ketchikan.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a nice one. Doing good. Here, hold that. Get it ready. Oh yeah, there you go. These are nice ones.
Halibut fishing trips are typically chartered by an experienced guide. Many will supply you with the tackle you need to bag your big fish. However, some Alaska halibut fishing trips can require you to bring your own tackle. You'll want to bring circle hooks with lead weights that weigh about 2 to 3 pounds.
There you go. Because you don't want to, if you do this, you might pull that, put a hole in it. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Nice one. Doing good. You're doing really good. He's come back to the left.
This will ensure that your hook sinks to the floor of the body of water as halibut are bottom feeders. As far as bait goes for your Alaska halibut fishing trips, you'll want to use herring. Most Alaska halibut fishing trips which are chartered will include fresh bait, so you won't have to worry about bringing any of your own. Alaska halibut fishing trips can turn out some really big halibut. While we all dream of catching that rare, massive fish, it's important to have a gauge of what's normal. First off, halibut is considered the biggest of the flatfish species that are out there. Halibut have been shown to get up over 400 pounds, with females always being bigger than the males as they naturally grow faster. Halibut fishing trips are mainly geared towards finding the females as the males rarely exceed 100 pounds. Alaska halibut fishing trips are popular among the bucket lists of experienced anglers in the Gulf of Alaska region. These flatfish that linger at the depths of the water provide an exhilarating challenge for both men and women. Alaska Fish On encourages you to think about scheduling some Alaska halibut fishing trips in your future so you can experience the rush of pulling a few £100-pound fish out of the water. Alaska Fish On is sure you'll have the time of your life. Use a combination of salmon and herring all the time. When halibut are keying on salmon, they are sometimes known to ignore other baits. Unless you're jigging, halibut strikes can take some time. Allow a moment for the fish to eat some of the bait before trying to set the hook. Circle hooks are key for halibut fishing in Ketchikan because once hooked, you'll rarely, if ever, lose the fish. Lower the bait to the bottom, reel in a few cranks, and then set the rod and wait for a fish to strike. Don't jump to action as soon as you see the rod start jumping up and down. Wait until the tip is bent over and the fish is almost taking the line. Lift up to finish driving the hook into place. If you jerk or lift up too soon, the hook has a chance of being pulled away from the fish's mouth. We keep our equipment in the best shape at all times, but if you're striking out on your own, beware of dull hooks. Even hooks that have been in use for a couple of trips will get you short bites because it can take considerable pressure to actually penetrate the jaw of a halibut, and the dull hook can't do the job. If there is any current where you are fishing, run a jig from the stern. Don't bother with multiple jigs since it can result in tangles and other inconveniences. As the halibut move in on your scent trail, they'll often be attracted to the jig. Adding a small piece of salmon or herring to a jig will give you a little bit more time to set the hook. A jig can also be a good indicator of how many fish are in the area, and if you aren't getting any action as you bounce the jig down the current, it might be time to pick up and head elsewhere. If you're not having great luck, or if you're only getting small fish, it can be common practice to replace smaller bait with whole salmon heads. Big halibut love big bait. Don't forget to let the halibut take the head completely so you can get a solid hookup. Smaller halibut will leave a salmon head alone, so if you get one on a whole head, it will likely be big. But using salmon heads and baiting bigger fish requires patience since bigger fish are usually the last to approach your scent trail. Halibut are bottom dwellers, but you can beat the game by targeting those that have moved off the bottom to feed. They'll be more active because they are actually on the hunt above the ground where you usually fish. Rig up with bait, lower to the bottom, and then reel up a good 15 to 20 feet off the floor. During the summer, you might start getting halibut only 10 or 20 minutes away from the dock, but the rest of the time you might have better luck running about 45 minutes to an hour out, and the 2-hour run will be like shooting fish in a barrel. Check out our rates for a great trip. The season for halibut fishing in Ketchikan is long, from February to December, and you should have no problem catching lots. And this rich bounty from the sea made the Tilingits one of the richest societies in human history with nourishing foods and meaningful arts. The word Sitka comes from the Tlingit word, Shi'arka, or people from outside of Shi Island, which has been called Baranof Island by Europeans. Traditional Tlingit halibut hooks consist of 2 pieces of wood, usually alder and cedar, lashed together at an angle of roughly 30 degrees with split spruce root. They used a rock as an anchor and fished in canoes up and down the coasts of what we now call Alaska and British Columbia. If you visit Alaska, you can see the Tlingit culture in totem poles, headdresses, canoes and food preservation techniques. A healing halibut, in the Tlingit art style spotted at the Fred Hutch Cancer Center in Seattle. The long lines used today, though operated on somewhat bigger boats with diesel power, work with principles that aren't that different than those used by the Tlingits. Typically, long liners use an anchor and buoy to spread long lines baited with salmon, squid or herring on a ghanaian. After 12 hours or so of soaking the lines on the bottom of the ocean, the captain finds the buoy and the fishing crews haul up the lines and halibut using what the fishermen call a gurdy, or a hydraulically powered winch used to pull up the heavy lines. Our fishermen pull the halibut over the rails of the boat. Then they dress, clean and ice each halibut quickly to preserve quality. Male halibut can reach 100 pounds, but females can weigh upwards of 500 pounds. Bigger fish mean more eggs. A 50-pounder lays about 500,000 eggs. A 250-pounder can lay 4 million eggs. Large halibut are called barn doors because they're flat, large, and you can imagine what it's like to haul them up from the bottom of the ocean. Hard work. When they're smaller, they eat shrimp and small crabs. Then they move on to octopus, squid and other fish. Our Alaska gold halibut are caught by fishermen like Dick Curran, the humble highliner, who have an incredibly close connection to the special waters where our fish come from. Our quality comes from a pride in being fishermen owned for more than 75 years. Halibut are particularly important to the history of our fishermen-owned cooperative, which was formed by fishermen who processed halibut in Seattle. Up until 1980, Seafood Producers Cooperative was the Halibut Producers Cooperative. The name changed to more accurately reflect the other fish being caught, particularly wild salmon and black cod, but halibut has always been an important part of the history of our fishermen-owned co-op. We're particularly fond of the delicate texture of halibut and its sweet flavor. Alaska halibut's culinary virtues are many. Halibut's versatility in combining with different flavors makes it a favorite for high-end restaurants and savvy home chefs.
Nice, Jord. Sweet.
Cod's texture makes it well suited for dishes like fish and chips, fish stews, and poaching, as it holds its shape well during cooking. Both halibut and cod offer enjoyable textures, but there are subtle differences. Halibut tends to have larger and more substantial flakes with a buttery texture, while cod has smaller and more delicate flakes with a meaty and succulent texture. The choice between the two may depend on personal preference and the desired texture for a particular recipe or dish. Halibut and cod are both nutritious fish that offer several health benefits.
He's over.
Here's a comparison of the nutritional profiles. Both halibut and cod are excellent sources of high-quality protein, essential for building and repairing tissues in the body. They also provide important vitamins and minerals. Halibut tends to be slightly higher in calories, protein, and fat compared to cod. It also contains slightly more omega-3 fatty acids, which are beneficial for heart health and brain function. Both fish are good sources of vitamin D, vitamin B12, selenium, phosphorus, and potassium. These nutrients play roles in bone health